All right, let's talk about something that slows down even the best engineering teams, the software delivery pipeline. Specifically, how in the world do we keep it fast and reliable when we're trying to deploy to multiple clouds all at once? Let's dive in and break it down.
You know the feeling, right? You push a tiny change, and then you just wait. And you wait some more. Your CI/CD pipeline, the very thing that's supposed to be your express lane, has turned into a total traffic jam. It's honestly one of the biggest frustrations in development, turning that innovation superhighway into a complete parking lot.
So what's causing all this gridlock? Well, the main culprit is complexity. I mean, it used to be pretty simple, right? Deploying to a single cloud was like a straight open road. But today's multi-cloud world, it's a spaghetti junction. Every new cloud, every new target adds another tangled off-ramp with its own set of rules and dependencies. All that complexity creates bottlenecks, and that's what slows everything down to a crawl.
Okay, so faced with this mess, what are we even trying to achieve? It really just boils down to two things: velocity and reliability. We absolutely have to move faster, but we also have to be completely confident that what we're shipping is stable. For any team that wants to perform at a high level, these aren't things you can trade off. They're two sides of the very same coin. You really can't have one without the other. And what's so important to remember is that this isn't just a technology problem. No, at its heart, this is all about people. It's about unlocking human potential. When you reduce that friction in the pipeline, you give your developers back their most precious resource, their time. That's time they can use to solve the really hard problems and innovate, instead of just, staring at a progress bar.
So, how do we actually clear this traffic jam? Well, it turns out there are three core strategies. I like to think of them as the essential toolkit for any architect or engineer who's serious about building a high-speed, multi-cloud pipeline.
First up in the toolkit is caching. The whole idea is incredibly simple: never do the same work twice. So imagine your pipeline is a toll road. The first time you go through, you have to stop and pay the toll. But caching is like getting an express pass. Now, on every single trip after that, you get to fly right through the dedicated lane. It's the same for your pipeline. Caching lets you skip re-downloading the same dependencies or rebuilding the same pieces over and over again. Next up, parallelization. So if caching is your express pass, think of parallelization as adding more lanes to the highway. Instead of a single file line, where every job has to wait for the one in front of it to finish, we open up a whole bunch of lanes. Now, jobs that don't depend on each other, like running tests and building the app, can all happen at the exact same time. This just dramatically slashes the total travel time.
And our third tool is a game changer: smart testing. This is all about getting rid of wasted effort. I mean, why run thousands of tests when you only changed a single line of code? It just doesn't make sense. This is like having a super intelligent traffic cop who knows exactly which cars need a full inspection. Those are the tests relevant to your change, and just waves everyone else right through. The whole flow of traffic just gets so much smoother. So that's our toolkit: caching, parallelization, and smart testing. But talking about it is one thing. What's the actual impact in the real world? Let's walk through a little before and after story to see this transformation in action. Okay, here's the before picture. A slow, painful pipeline that's probably all too familiar. First, a 10-minute wait just to install dependencies. Then, another 5 minutes for linters. After that, a long 15 minutes for the application to build. And just when you think you're done, nope, another 15 minutes to run the entire test suite. Everything just happens one after another. You can almost feel the productivity draining away. And the total cost for all that waiting, a painful 45 minutes for every single change. That's a massive productivity killer right there. But now, watch what happens when we apply our toolkit. First, bam, caching slashes that 10-minute dependency install down to just 1 minute. Then, here comes the magic. We take the linter, the app build, and our new smart tests, and we run them all at the same time, in parallel. So what's the new grand total? Well, because all those jobs ran in parallel, our total time is just the time of the longest one. So we go from 45 minutes all the way down to just 8 minutes. That is a monumental, game-changing improvement. And when you look at it side by side like this, you realize the change is about so much more than just minutes saved. It's about completely transforming the developer experience. Feedback goes from slow to basically instant, which lets engineers stay in that creative flow state. The big takeaway here is this: a faster pipeline doesn't just build software faster. It helps you build a faster, happier, and way more effective team. And the best part is, this kind of transformation is absolutely within reach. It's not a fantasy.
So let's boil all this down into your personal path to velocity.
Here it is, your action plan, your optimization checklist. First, go find your biggest traffic jams. Figure out what the slowest steps in your pipeline are right now. Then, implement caching for anything and everything that gets reused. After that, parallelize every single job you can that doesn't depend on another. Then, adopt a smart testing strategy to stop wasting time. And finally, and this is crucial, measure everything. You need that hard data to prove the amazing impact of your changes.
Because, at the end of the day, making the pipeline fast isn't the real goal. It's the enabler. The real goal is freeing your team from the frustration of waiting around and empowering them to do what they do best, to build, to create, to innovate. So the real question we should be asking isn't just about speed, it's about what we'll do with it. With all that time you just got back, what will you build next?